Hello, dear colleagues. Let me introduce you our work, Temple Buildings Older than 100 Years, Built from Timber in Kursk region. The material for this work was prepared by my co-authors, Mr. Stupishin from Moscow State University of Civil Engineering and the student of Southwest University, Ms. Angelina Ageeva, in addition to myself. What Russian person would say about a wooden temple architecture? I know, it's Russian North, a museum reserve on the island Kizhi. Yes, that's right, but not only that. In our Middle Russian Kursk region, we also can encounter several excellent examples of wooden temple architecture. The tasks of our investigations were to identify features of wooden temple buildings in the Kursk region, to investigate the current state of buildings, to identify problems that impede the preservation of wooden churches in Kursk region, which are objects of cultural heritage of regional significance. We are presenting here 5 wooden churches in Kursk region. All of them are older than 100 years. They are now in different conditions, in a state of disrepair, reparation, and functional. The first one is Trinity Church in the village of First Vinnikova, Kursk district. It was built in 1843. The second one is St. George Church in the village of Third Ukolova, Zolotukhino district. It was built in 1884. The third one is Church of Cosmos and Damian in the village of Khasinovo, Bayan district. It was built in 1902. The fourth one, St. George Church in the village of Tolzinkova, Bayan district. It was built in 1900. And the last one, Church of Intersection in the village of Kamenka, Bayan district. It was built in 1883. We compared the space planning solutions of all 5 inspected temples. The first feature that we compared was a plane form. 3 of 5 buildings have cross-like plane form. There are churches in Vinnikova, Khasinovo, and Dolzhinkova. 2 of them rectangle form. There are churches in Kamenka and Ukolova. The second feature, number of naves. Nave is the inner part of temple divided from other parts by pillars of walls. 3 of them are one nave. There are churches of Vinnikova, Khasinovo, and Dolzhinkova, and 2 3-nave in Kamenka and Ukolova. The third feature, presence of pillars. In Vinnikova, 4 pillars. In Khasinovo and Dolzhinkova, no pillars. In Kamenka, also 4 pillars. In Ukolova, no pillars, but pilasters at the end of inner walls. The fourth feature, bell tower location. 3 churches have it above the porch, in Dolzhinkova, Kamenka, and Ukolova. 2 churches have it to the left side of the altar, in Khasinovo and Vinnikova. In Vinnikova, though, it currently is missing. And the fifth feature is height coefficient. It is ratio of the height of a building to its largest dimension in plan. Those ratios are Vinnikova 0.7, Khasinovo 0.6, Dolzhinkova 0.4, Kamenka 1.0, and Ukolova 0.6. All the buildings are characterized by the cladding of the loghouse with boards along vertical slats. This design is similar in its properties to a modern curtain wall. The foundations of the buildings are made of both local rubble stone and brick. The Church of Intersection in Kamenka has a brick basement also. Inside the buildings, plaster over shingles was used. In the church of Vinnyko during the inspections, sheep's wool was also noted to be glued to the inner surface of the log beams. In the churches of the Abayan district, plaster was not used indoors. The periods of misuse and neglect also did not contribute to the preservation of structures. Damage to part of the log beams, primarily to the lower ones, by wood-destroying fungus. Damage by wood-destroying insects. Cracking of beams due to shrinkage when drying. Cracking of beams of forced origin. Loss of plank sheathing. Damage by fire. The inspected temple buildings are object of cultural heritage of Kursk region. According to Russian legislation, when carrying out the restoration of buildings related to objects in cultural heritage, it is necessary to fulfill a number of requirements aimed at preserving the object of cultural heritage and preventing harm to it. Unfortunately, when this law is applied in practice, the opposite effect is observed. The fact is that carrying out the activities specified in the federal law is very expensive in material terms, design in the first place. The eparchy and especially rural parishes do not have the funds to carry out expensive restoration measures. Possible ways to solve the problem. For each object of cultural heritage, it is necessary to determine the subject of protection. For example, the subject of protection of a certain object is the decoration of the facade and interior. In this case, the decoration will be subject to restoration, a more expensive type of work, and the supporting structures to repair and reconstruction, a less expensive type of work. This will simplify the task of preserving the main load-bearing structures of objects of cultural heritage and will make it possible to quickly begin work and repair the building. Attracting funds for repairs and restoration can be facilitated by the inclusion of objects of cultural heritage in the existing tourist clusters of the Kursk region. For example, 3 churches in the Abayan district can be joined to a tourist cluster in the neighborhood Pristan district, which includes a watermill in the village of Krasnikov. Temple from the village of Third Ukolova to the cluster that includes Fed's House Estate, a memorial sign to the pilots of the 60th Air Force Army, the Korinaya Monastery, a historical and memorial museum command post in the Central Front. The temple in the village of Vinnygo can be a landmark along with the Plevitska Museum in the same village. Based on the surveys conducted, the following can be concluded. The space planning solutions of the surveyed wooden temple buildings in the Kursk region are very different. The buildings surveyed are characterized by frame law construction techniques. The buildings of wooden churches in Kursk region are characterized by cladding of the log house with boards through spacer slats. The cladding ensures the safety of the log houses. A contradiction was noted between the current legislation aimed at preserving cultural objects and the real capability of the eparchy and parishes. The possible ways to facilitate the problem of object of cultural heritage building repair could be following. To determine the subject of protection in object of cultural heritage. Attracting funds for repair and restoration can be facilitated by the inclusion of an object of cultural heritage in the existing tourist clusters of Kursk region. Thanks for your attention.